Well, look at that. We got ourselves some little chickies. I made them a little box and put them in the back of the truck because they're new here, and if I let them walk around on the ground, I'm afraid I gotta make sure that the dogs get used to them, and I'll have to watch them for a few days and teach the dogs to not eat them. So that, well, right now I don't have, I'll just put them here in the back of the truck, give them it, and then because they're not going to fly out yet, they're still too little. There's 20 of them, and they were like $3.50 a piece. And I went in there and I told him what I wanted, and he bagged them, put them in these boxes, and got up the cash register, and they gave me 75% off. And I was like, what? Boy, that Lord was sure blessing me. Ever since I got out here, I mean, it's just like everything I asked for. Like, one thing when I got these, I asked for the black ones and the gray ones, which is what I got. And then he didn't have enough, so I said, okay, put the rest, because I wanted 20 of them. Give me 4 or 5 if you don't have enough of those white ones. Well, I thought they were white, and I really didn't want white ones. And I remember thinking, man, Lord, I sure wish I'd had some brown ones. And look at that. They're not white. They're brown. I don't know what color they're going to be, but they got brown feathers coming in. That's just their fuzz, the yellow fuzz. And the other thing is that, and it might be why they gave me a discount, but these are older than normal. Usually they're small, little dinky things. So these don't need to be under the lamp except for maybe at night or just in a warm area at night. They're already getting a little bigger, and that was helpful too, because I don't have a lamp to put them under. So I just put them in a box and I put them in the truck, and it really doesn't get that cold, especially in the truck at night, so they stay warm. They all bundle up together. They're big enough to go through the night by themselves. So I'm going to build them a little chicken pen, and the neighbor's going to sell me a couple rabbits. I'm going to have a lot of chickens and rabbits out here. So I got black ones and gray ones, and these look like they're going to be brown. And those black ones got white wings underneath the black coming in. Pure white underneath. Almost like a magpie. Beautiful. I mean, you can't see it right there. And I don't know what kind these are. But they come out and they get something to eat and get a drink, and then they go back in and get warm for a second. I mean, it's warm out, but I don't know. They're kind of skittish. They like being in the box for now. They've already drank a whole plate of water and a bunch of food, so they're eating and drinking pretty well. They're doing pretty good. I'm really excited. And then this here is, I had to get some more of these. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to put that under the dome. My daughter's going to come up here in a couple weeks, and we're going to put together this little dome. And I'm really excited about it because I'm going to put glass, or probably plastic of some kind. We haven't decided yet. For the whole dome will be basically a see-through or a plastic or some kind of thing. So it'll be a big greenhouse, and I'm going to grow. When it gets real hot, I'll have a big curtain there, like a tarp that I pull with ropes over the top so it keeps the sun out. And in the winter, I'll pull the top down, and it'll have the sun will keep it warm in the winter too, because we get a lot of sun in the winter around here. Most every day is sunny, even in the winter. But except for when it, you know, it'll get cloudy and storm for a couple, 3 days and be cloudy and everything. But for the most part, it's sun shines here a lot in the winter. So I'm gonna live in a greenhouse. That's what I've decided to do. I'll have a wood stove in there, so when it is cold and I don't get any sunshine, I'll just put some wood in the fire, and I'm gonna have some nut trees in there and flowers and all kinds of things. That's what I want to do. These little guys are so cute. I don't know if the dogs have... Where are the doggies? They hear them. There you are. You're just laying there in the dirt. You silly. There's the other one. There's old Buster. There's old Buster. And there's Maggie. Yeah. Go sit down. And then... got to get all these limbs. They cut them off that tree. I'm going to get them all pulled out. And I'm going to bring them down here to use for firewood on the fire pit. I dug this little fire pit out for bonfire stuff. So, oh, there's a little bird right there. I like birds. They're cute. They're cute. So, I went into town, and I already had this. Got blurry. I got this 55-gallon drum, 55 gallons of water, and the guy I bought it from, it had a little water in it, so I used that water and went into town today, got a post office box. And what's really cool is, let me show you. Now, the post office box is a real miracle too, because everybody said, see, the closest town is Rama, and that's 22 miles. And now let me show you. Well, anyway, I didn't want to go 22 miles. There's another town, it's about 12 miles from here, that all it has is a grocery market and a gas station. Well, the other town that's 22 miles, Rama, they don't have a gas station, but they got a Family Dollar. And I guess they got a post office. Well, everybody said you can't go to the Pine Hill because that's native peoples, and my jurisdiction, even though I'm closer to Pine Hill, would be Rama, and I have to go to Rama to get a post office box. Well, I went in and I thought I'll try it anyway because I don't want to drive 22 miles to go check the mail. So I went into Pine Hill this morning and asked them if I could get a box, and they said sure. There was a U.S. post office. I figured, well, if there's a U.S. post office, even if that's not my jurisdiction, they have to give me a post office box, don't they? So I went right in, and sure enough, they did. So I got a post office box. And yesterday, went to town and got this little beautiful thing. This here has jumper cables that you just attach to a battery. And this here 12-volt pump will pump that water 290 gallons per hour, and that's 55 gallons, so that's like 5-10 minutes, and it can pump all that 55 gallons right out. Well, that's pretty good, you know. That's a lot of water. 55 gallons every, what is it, 10-15 minutes. And so you just hook a garden hose, and and there's another hose that it comes with it that you put in the tank. And on this side, you put the garden hose. And I got a 50-foot hose, and I'm going to run that, and I'm going to make a shower. So this is going to pump the water into my shower and my sink when I get the sink built. But I am going to put the shower in a few days. So that'll be cool. And they got some really cheap tarps. This is a 7 mil. And they have 9 mil and 5 mil and 6 mil. But for a 7 mil, 11 by 15, this was only 15 bucks, which is really good. Because nowadays, you go to Walmart to get a tarp. I mean, you can get like a huge tarp down there for like 30 bucks. Huge. And that's pretty hard to do because, like I say, that big of a tarp, 11 by 15 at Walmart's probably $30. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's pretty cool, guys. Well, yeah, probably should do a video and talk to you guys a little bit. Haven't done a video today, and honest to tell you the truth, I'm just I've been so busy. I hadn't even thought about. I turned this camera on just to show you the chickens. I don't have anything running through my head right at the moment, except for what I've been through this morning. You guys probably know, I told you about the guy that lives. He lives that way. When I first got here, remember I saw that truck over there. It was like a couple of properties over. Well, there's a guy living over there. He's just kind of camping out, living in his truck. And I guess he's been there since August. And he hadn't had no food. He's skin and bones. And I gave him some food. And the other day, neighbors gave him a box of food. And I took him to town, and we got him some groceries and stuff. And he hadn't eaten all that time. And we go to Walmart, and I told him to get $50 worth of food. And he went and got cookies and soda pop and chips and all kinds of cakes and nothing that, after not eating since August, except for he shot a rabbit, I guess. And somebody gave him a, box of food and that kind of thing. And then he bought some oatmeal. I thought, well, at least that's healthy, right? He bought some oatmeal. But then he told me the way he eats his oatmeal was he had to buy some cookies. And he makes a little oatmeal and he crumbles like about half cookie dough or cookie crumbs in it. So even that wasn't even going to be that healthy. And I thought, man, I hope I don't have to take him to the hospital after he eats all that, since he hadn't eaten nothing all that time. And I said, so what are you going to do? He said he's just praying, hoping that something happens. And he told me his dad had given him $25,000. And that he went out and got a truck and put $20,000 on the truck. And I thought, well, okay, must be about paid off then, right? Nope. His truck has almost as many miles as mine does. And he still owes $23,000 on it, something like that. So now he hasn't paid the payments for 3 months, going on 4. I don't know why they haven't repossessed it. So he lost that $20,000 there. And I guess if the other $5,000, he put $1,500 down on this property that he's got over here. And he spent the rest of it on I don't know what, probably food and gas. Well, this is what he tells me. I asked him, I said, well, mind me asking how much you paid for the property? He paid more than twice as much money for his property than I did for mine. And his property doesn't have any cliffs or any special features. My property has, the beautiful cliffs and the big trees. And they told him that there was, well, anyway. So he's behind on that, and it's a $400 a month payment, $400 or $500 he pays a month to buy this property. So he hasn't paid the property, he hasn't paid the truck. He used up all the $25,000, and he hasn't had anything to eat. Then his truck broke down. He says, well, the 4-wheel drive went out, and he didn't even have any water. He was going to die. Well, the neighbor, I guess, found him wandering around out here and brought him some water. And he went out and shot a rabbit, and then I think somebody gave him a few bags of beans or something for a while. Well, he won't eat beans, because I gave him some beans and rice, and he just looked at it like, what's that, He kind of wants you to give him, like, cookies and things like that to eat. And so I thought, oh my goodness. So I got him to call his dad to see if his dad could help him, because he was talking about his dad. Comes to find out, his dad's about 80 years old. And he was telling me about how bad his dad was. Just a terrible, terrible old man. And I said, how come can you get Social Security? And he says, no, his dad ruined that for him. His dad did some shenanigans and lied and cheated, did some illegal stuff, and now he'll never be able to get Social Security again. And I said, well, if you can't, I didn't tell him, but I got the impression he really wasn't capable of working or taking care of himself. And I thought, well, maybe he should be on Social Security. But he said, no, he can't get Social Security. So anyway, I talked to him into calling his dad, just to seeing if his dad could help him out a little bit, get him caught up on his payments or something until he could get a job, or give him some money so he could get some gas and go get a job. Well, his dad gave him some money, I guess, or something. I don't know what happened. He went into town and he didn't get a job. He just ended up using the money on nothing or something. I don't know what happened. So here he is sitting here still, no money. And his dad called me back because his number was on my phone. And his dad says, would you have him call me? So this morning. So I went over there and I said, hey, your dad wants you to call him. Well, he put it on speakerphone. And I sat and listened to the whole conversation. I was never so appalled by anyone's speech and vulgarity in my entire life. And what was worse is he was talking to his father, who was 80 years old. He called him the N-word, and I don't mean N-A-Z-I. He said, why don't you P-I-S-S, O-N yourself? And he just on and vulgar and cussed him upside one down the other and said, don't you ever call me again. I hate you. You're a bad, evil, wicked person. And the old man just sat and listened and was very kind. And as they were going along, I heard them arguing, with the old man wasn't really arguing. He was just listening to him cuss him out. And he said, you didn't do nothing. You lied to me and this and that and everything, and I hate you. And well, his father said, I gave you $50,000. What'd you do with it? Now, he had told me he only had $25,000. So at that point, and there were some other things as they were talking that I began to realize that this young man had lied to me. As they were talking, I began to discern, I couldn't help but hear everything, that what he had told me about his dad not doing some illegal thing so he couldn't get it with Social Security, it wasn't his dad. He was lying. He refuses to get Social Security. His dad tried to get him on Social Security, but he wouldn't do it. And call him the N-word and was cussing him out. And how dare you, would you just leave me alone, you old man, and And he hung up on him. So I went home, and I didn't know what to think. Man, I was just speechless. I took the phone back and walked back to my place over here. And I'm just sitting here thinking, my goodness, what in the world is wrong with that young man? Nobody would talk to their dad that way, even if their dad had done some terrible thing. in the past or whatever, you just don't talk to your dad that way. And so I thought, well, I'm going to call, because here's the thing. This he got no money. They're going to evict him from the property. They're going to come get the truck within a few days. It's got to be. They know, they have the address where he's at, his physical address. And he hadn't paid the payments for 3 or 4 months. So I know they're going to come get that property, or that truck. And they're going to evict him from the property. And he's got a couple of guns. And I asked him, I said, well, I said, you know you're going to just end up, if they evict you, you're going to be walking down the road. You're not going to have nothing. What are you going to do? You're not going to have anywhere to go. And he says, oh, I'll just hitchhike and go to Walmart and put up a sign. And then I thought, okay, well, it sounds like he's used to it, like he's done that before. And I said, well, what are you going to, you can't take your guns. He said, oh, yeah, it's legal to have guns without a permit. And I said, well, I don't know if that's true, but even if it were, because I don't know the laws in New Mexico for sure, but I said, if you're a homeless person standing in the parking lot at Walmart and you got a rifle and a pistol on your back, because you ain't got nowhere to put anything, and all the rest of your stuff on your back, and you're standing there in the parking lot, you can't hide those guns. They're gonna take those guns from you, and they might end up taking you to jail or something. I mean, it's not a good deal. You can't just walk down the road with guns. And he's like, oh yeah, I can do it. So that's why I was worried about him, because I think he's going to end up getting evicted, and he's going to take these guns, and he's going to get in jail. So when I called his dad back, I said, man, I'm sorry for the way your son was talking to you. I had no idea it was like that. And I said, I'm worried about him. And I told him about the guns and how he said he's going to take off down the road. And so his dad said he'd call the police and have them come do a welfare check. Well, he did that. And the police said they couldn't. They came out and looked in the window. And I said, what window? He ain't got no window. So I guess they found the wrong place. So this is what I've been dealing with this morning. And I feel bad for him. And I don't really know what to do. And I thought about it. I thought, well, what are you going to do with somebody that doesn't have any money and they need food, and you think, well, okay, I guess we can feed him, but at the same time, this man is cussing his father out, calling him just humiliating and treating him like, and literally lying about his dad, and he's got guns. And after I heard the way he was talking, just terrible, the way he was, vulgarity and everything, talking to his dad, I started getting a little bit worried with this, wondering, what kind of person this is, whether he'd steal things from me or whether I could even trust him. I got my daughter coming out here next week. And I got a little worried. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. Praying and thinking about it and wondering what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to help people. And I tried to help him. But he just doesn't even seem to want to help himself at all. And he has no plans. And I'm just really worried about him. And I think, well, what would be best for him? Leave him alone, let him get evicted and run, and he'll walk down the road and get arrested? Or have them come do a welfare check again, tell them about the guns. Maybe they'll take him into custody and get him some help. Maybe they'll help him get on some Social Security or something. I don't know what to do. And I'm sitting here trying to figure that out. I guess I shouldn't worry about it. I should just leave him alone, because it's none of my business. But I am a little bit worried about him. Where'd that bird go? There. Oh, he was right there, but I didn't see him take off. So, this is the world we live in. And I feel bad. A lot of people would say, well, that terrible person should be arrested, or, he no good, or whatever. And I realize, I don't know how the man got that way. He may be just mentally ill. He may be... I mean, I still feel sorry for him, and I don't know what to do to help him. Because it would almost be impossible to try and help him in any way meaningful, other than if I could find a way to help him get on Social Security, which I don't know how I can help him that way, because he refuses to go in, because he's constantly saying his father did something that he's not legally allowed to ever have Social Security again, and he's blaming his dad. Well, his dad tried to get him on the phone. I could hear them talking. His dad was being real nice and was saying, son, I tried to help you get on Social Security, but you won't. He said, yeah, you wanted me to tell them that I was crazy. And you know I ain't going to lie. So the man won't lie to save his soul about whether he's crazy. And actually, he might actually be crazy. I don't know. All I know is that everybody and their cousin goes to the Social Security office, and if they can't take care of themselves, they usually get on Social Security. If you can't work, and because he told me that, he says it's just too overwhelming for him to work. Now, I don't know what that is. It may be a mental illness. It may not be, but to him it's a lie, and he won't go get Social Security. So how are you going to help him? He won't do it. And his dad tried, and he wouldn't do it with his dad. All he wants to do is blame his dad now. So I guess he had to have been on Social Security, and he went and told him that he's not crazy and got off of it, or something. I don't know exactly what happened. So I don't know really even how to help him if he doesn't even want to receive the help that the government's providing. And even if the neighbors around here keep helping him and giving him food, he's going to get evicted here, and he's going to walk on down the road with guns. He's not smart enough to realize you can't be walking around town with guns being homeless. So you see the situation I'm in, and I feel bad for him, because I'm afraid he's going to end up in jail, or in something worse. His dad said, well, they might come out and shoot him. And I said, no, I don't think they would do that. And he said, well, if he's got guns, he might. And so even his dad doesn't know what to do. His dad has tried and tried and tried. I just don't know what to do. Anyway, I guess it's enough of that. You guys don't need to hear about all that. But you see, I come out here in the middle of nowhere. And there really is. It's like in the middle of nowhere. But it just happens to be some person living, I don't know, a couple thousand feet down the road from me. And I have to, well, not me. I'm not the one that, suffering here. But I don't know how else to put it. It's a little sad that even out here in the middle of nowhere, there are people that you might have to kind of worry about, or, it's so beautiful and peaceful. Not a care in the world out here. And everything, the Lord is just blessing me with. I mean, like I said, if I told you all the things that, like for instance, those chickens, the Lord gave me those chickens 75% off. And I have no idea why. Have no idea why. I went to that store to get that 12-volt pump, because another neighbor way up the road had come by and had told me about that pump that you can use. And he said what store to go to. So I went there, and they said, no, we don't have a pump like that. All we got is this one or that one. It was like way more expensive, and it wasn't a 12-volt pump. And I said, well, no, the guy had come here and he bought one from you, so I know you have it. And he said, no, we don't have it. And I said, well, you sure? And so they called back, this lady called back to the back room or something, and told the guy what I was looking for. And he said, I don't think we got anything like that. And so he said, I'll go check again. And pretty soon, about 15, 20 minutes later, he says, I'll be darned, we do. But there ain't none of them on the shelf. We got 4 or 5 of them left, and they're in the back. And they're 12 volt. So I guess they don't want to hand these things out That's what it is. They got very few of them, and they're hiding them for certain special customers or something. But the Lord helped me, and I got that pump so that I'm able to have a shower out here. What else miracles happened? Just the whole property here. That guy's paying twice the money that I'm paying, more than twice, and I'm paying $100 a month, and he's paying almost $500 a month. And he told me that the guy down the road bought his property from the same people, and had said to him something about how expensive it was. So you see what I'm saying? I really, really, really got a blessing when I got this. The Lord just gave this property to me. And it's about the prettiest, most beautiful piece of, 5 acres out here. Because I've got the best cliffs and the best trees. And what else? It's just like every day. I think of, like, for instance, I was going to tell you when I got the chickens. So we had the black ones and they had the gray ones. I think I was starting to tell you about this. Well, maybe I did already tell you about that. I was thinking in my head I wanted some brown ones, and I thought, oh, well, I guess I'll take these white ones. That's all they had left. I get them home, and they're not white. They're actually brown. So I was thinking I wanted brown ones, and I got brown ones. So I got brown ones. I don't know if they're going to be red or speckled, but they look kind of brownish. And a bunch of them that are grayish, and some of them that are blackish with some white stripes. Oh, they're going to be beautiful. And we'll see how many of them are roosters and how many of them are female. I guess you're not. I don't think you're allowed to. You can really have too many roosters. I think you're only supposed to have one rooster. So I don't know what happens when you get a bunch of roosters. I guess you have to eat them or something, because what happens is they start fighting. And then if they don't kill each other, one rooster will take off and take some of the herd with him, and they won't stay close by. They'll take off down the road because they can't all be in the same territory, and you end up having half your hens take off with the other rooster down. Or I don't know, something like that. So you really only should have one rooster or two, I guess, unless maybe you could have two roosters if the rooster wasn't trying to take over the herd or something. I'm not sure. I think all roosters will eventually be that way. But just everything. The P.O. box, I was able to get that in Pine Hill. I was able to get the shower and the water fixed, and I had been dreaming about living in a greenhouse out here, but I hadn't really thought about a dome. It was my daughter that came up with the idea, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. And so now I get to, have her come out and help me do that. Anyway, I think that's probably all I'm going to be able to do for a video today, guys. Maybe I'll come up with something here this evening. If I see some news that strikes my fancy, I might come on here and do another video. But I'm going to close this for now, guys. Hope that wasn't too negative for you. Just remember that I don't mean to be negative when I tell you about these things going on out here. I suppose some of you want to know what's going on. Hear the drama. I hope that's the last of the drama. I hope there's no more drama ever. ever, because I don't want any drama out here at all. But I don't know what's going to happen with a young man over there. But he's not too young. I think he's about 47. I think he told me. But I'm pretty sure that he's going to be evicted here soon, and he won't be there any longer. And I feel bad for him, but I don't know what to do. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go, guys, and go check on my chickies and make me another cup of coffee and maybe go take a walk, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. May the Lord bless you guys. Bye.